In the Inland Empire, home prices are high right now. In fact, this week, the median sale price of a home is only $4,000 below the all-time peak. However, looking closer at the data, we see that cracks are beginning to form, and these cracks suggest that prices will be declining in the weeks ahead. And that's what we're looking at in today's Inland Empire Real Estate Update for February 12th, 2025. I'm Jon Schwartz, California's 1% homebuyer agent. I'll be doing these Inland Empire updates every other week going forward, so subscribe and stay tuned if you're in Riverside or San Bernardino County and plan on buying a home in 2025. Also, visit jonsch.com to learn how you can save, on average, more than $10,000 with that purchase that you'll be making. That's jonsch.com. Now let's get into the data. And we're looking at the latest weekly print from Redfin for the Riverside, California Metropolitan Statistical Area, which is actually all of San Bernardino and Riverside counties, i.e. the Inland Empire. We're looking at the median sale price for a home in the Inland Empire. Each line represents a year. This year is the green line. Last year is the orange line. 2023 is the blue line, etc. And as you can see, home prices are high right now in the Inland Empire. The median sale price of a home this week was $589,000. That's up $3,000 from last week, and that's almost at the all-time pricing peak for the Inland Empire set in November 2024 at $593,000. That is some sloppy handwriting. Anyways, point is, we're $4,000 shy of the highest prices ever at a time when prices are usually their lowest ever. Nationally, and even it appears in the Inland Empire, prices tend to bottom out on Super Bowl weekend. The fact that we're $4,000 shy of last year's peak is wild. Fortunately, the new listing median price was level this week. The new listing median price is the median price of a new listing coming to market this week. We are at $607,000, just about exactly where we were last week, and only slightly over the actual sale price, median sale price this week of $589,000. What this flatness can tell us is that this week, at least, agents aren't expecting home prices to keep climbing. So hopefully, though we should see a trough in pricing now, hopefully it's just been delayed until, say, March. And looking very closely at the data, we see some indications that that might be the case. Let me show you. Right now, we're looking at new listings for the Inland Empire. And as you can see this year, the green line is beginning to creep up over last year, the orange line. This week, we saw 1,137 new listings come to market. That's 9.6% more than the same period last year. A week ago, we were only 5.6% higher than the same period last year. Now, if new listings continues to grow at this rate and really develops a gap between this year and last year, well, that'll put downward pressure on pricing. That'll hopefully bring Inland Empire home prices back down to something reasonable for this time of year. Now we're looking at homes sold on the Inland Empire market, and this week we sold 635 homes. That's down 1.2% from the same period last year. A week ago, we were actually ahead of last year's numbers by 5.2%. So our sales numbers are beginning to lag behind last year's. This also points to downward pressure on pricing. When fewer homes are selling, it means more homes are hanging out on the market. More homes, more inventory means downward pressure on pricing. Of course, this slouching of homes sold is something that watchers of the update would have known was coming because pending sales has been trailing last year for this entire year. Pending sales is a leading indicator of homes sold because a home goes pending, meaning it goes into contract, about a month before it becomes a homes sold, meaning the transaction has completed. This week, 870 homes went pending. That's almost 15% fewer homes than the same time last year. Last week, we trailed the previous year by 16%. The week before that, almost 18%. The week before that, almost 16%. The week before that, the first week of the year, we trailed last year by 7.3%. So with pending sales just stuck behind last year's numbers, homes sold should start to decline even more, which means more downward pressure on pricing, so long as new inventory continues to stay high. And when you combine new listings, which is homes coming to market, and homes sold, which is homes leaving market. You get active listings. Active listings are way up from last year. Right now, there are 13,277 active listings on the Inland Empire market. That's 22.61% over last year, and it looks like the gap is maybe beginning to break out into higher numbers. More active inventory means downward pressure on pricing, which is why it's interesting that the weeks of supply metric actually shrunk this week. This week sees 21.4 weeks of supply on the market. Last week we were at 21.9. I think it's strange that weeks of supply contracted. This metric balances supply against demand. So even though supply appears to be growing, at least this week, demand grew a little bit as well. Kind of unexpected given what the home sold numbers look like, and especially unexpected given what the pending sales numbers look like. I think we're going to see the weeks of supply metric continue to be elevated over last year in the weeks ahead. And now we're looking at the percent of active listings with price drops. And if you ask me, this is where the real first fissure in this market is starting to develop. You can see that this year, the green line is beginning to break away from last year, the orange line, in terms of the percent of active listings with price drops. Right now, we're looking at 4.1% of active listings are carrying price drops. That's a full 0.5% higher than this time last year. Now, taking into consideration that price cuts are beginning to ramp up, that the median price of new listings remain flat this year, that inventory is picking up and pending sales are down, I think we'll be seeing some softness in the Inland Empire in the weeks or maybe even months ahead. So, Inland Empire homebuyers, stay patient. The market is softening. While you're being patient, check out my 2025 California Homebuyers Guide. It has all the information you need to be an informed homebuyer this year, including the latest conforming loan limits, the latest agency rules about how you're supposed to work with a homebuyer agent or a listing agent, and the latest state regulations on homeowners insurance. So check that out, and I'll see you back here in 2 weeks.